back here in my free state of Florida. A few scattered radical left protesters are trying hard to emulate their friends in Minnesota by interfering with immigration enforcement operations, but they are getting a very different result. Here's what happened when one woman decided, allegedly punched a Florida trooper in the face. Spoiler alert, this did not end well for her. Take a look.
You.
Weak ass.
Don't you dare start kicking.
No, stop.
Close. Lift your head up.
Florida Attorney General posted a picture of the alleged assailant, writing, quote, "This is Jennifer Cruz of Jacksonville. Jennifer disagrees with immigration enforcement and decided to commit a few felonies by getting out of her car and punching a trooper in the face. But unlike Minnesota, well, we don't put up with this nonsense. Not today, Jennifer." Florida Governor Ron DeSantis replied to the Florida AG's post and wrote, quote, "Yeah, really bad decision to attack one of our troopers. This isn't Minneapolis." Here now with more, the governor, the free state of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Governor, well, I mean, there's some humor to it. I feel bad for the officer. I have had an opportunity in just the course of my daily living. I run into law enforcement down here in Florida all the time. I stop and say hello. All the time I stop and say thank you for what you do, appreciate what you do. And I will. It's just a whole different environment. I used to live in New York. It's very different down here.
Yeah, Sean, I used to always say earlier in my tenure, all you guys should know, this is not Portland.
Governor Ron DeSantis delivers a firm warning, stating that Florida will not tolerate interference with law enforcement. Accountability, jail time, and zero tolerance are made unmistakably clear.
We're going to hold you accountable, particularly when you talk about our state troopers who are working with DHS to enforce federal immigration law. There's a lot of people on the far left that want an open border. They don't want immigration enforcement. They think if someone comes illegally and commits felonies, they should be able to stay. But you know what, Sean? That is not the law in the United States of America. And in fact, we just had a presidential election where the voters voted for Donald Trump in large part, because Joe Biden had an open border and there were illegals coming from everywhere. So they can run on open border and try to change it for that, but the public does not want that. So if you're trying to interrupt law enforcement just doing their job, which keeps us safe, we are going to hold you accountable and buckle up. You picked the wrong state to mess around with.
You know, it's such a different mentality than, say, Minnesota or California, sanctuary states with sanctuary cities, and even illegal immigrants that are in jail when they are released. Rather than hand them over to ICE, they know their status. They know they committed crimes. They don't care. What do? They let them out. They protect them when they should be handing them over to the federal government. What happens in Florida? Explain the difference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're in one of our jails, so we're the only state in the country where all state and local law enforcement are legally obligated to assist DHS with immigration enforcement. And so, of course, if they end up in a jail and they're here illegally, ICE will be alerted, and then they will be able to take the suspect and put them in immigration. Now, there's sometimes people commit really serious crimes. They get convicted in Florida courts, and so they end up going to prison to serve that debt. And then when they get out of prison, DHS will come and take them. You know, when Biden was president, even though we would always alert DHS, there were people that they refused to pick up who had served time for committing felonies. Under President Trump, it's like clockwork. As soon as somebody is in jail, coming out of prison, they are turned over to ICE and they are sent away. And in fact, just in the last year, since President Trump's been in office, state and local law enforcement throughout Florida have assisted with almost 20,000 apprehensions of illegal aliens. And so that's over and above what the feds would normally be doing. And you know what, Sean? Because we work with ICE and work with the administration, you don't see Minneapolis happen in Florida. You don't see a lot of the things happening to that scale because we're actually all on the same team here.
You know what? And guess what? It's a safer state. It's safer for everybody. Law enforcement, there aren't people inciting others to go after them. Governor, great to see you. Appreciate it. Great job.